Big news. That's our rally leader, Ott Tänak and Martin Järveoja. Have a look on the bottom right there underneath the car. There's a strong smell of gearbox oil. A strong smell. Transmission oil maybe, we're not entirely sure, but they're leaking oil, that is for sure. They've got through successfully the second stage of this afternoon's loop, stage 8, Loldia 2. They are working on the car on the way to geothermal 2. I can see underneath the wheel arch there as well, splattered with oil. The inside rim of the wheel splattered with oil as well. There is a job to do. They're on the phone again to the team, to the engineers, just to find out what they can do now. But they're still, by the looks of things, trying to identify where that problem is. BK, we've got BK with us from the States, our Dirtfish header brand. BK, just talk us through what you can see there. You're more technically minded than I am. We'll keep the noise down so that we don't intrude too much. But what can you work out from what you can hear? Maybe more importantly, what you can smell.
Can definitely smell gearbox oil, like a really heavy oil. Seeing it come out of both sides. As we walked up, I thought maybe it was the axle had disconnected. The only time I've ever seen anything like this where it's coming out both sides is usually a seal. The fact that it's coming out of both sides would make me think it's not axles, but it's some sort of seal in the front or center diff area. Probably more the front diff. But did I hear a thing that maybe it was just rear wheel drive? Is that?
Well, maybe he said apparently at the stop line in Estonian to Martin that he felt the car was in rear wheel drive towards the end of the stage.
I mean, yeah, they could have shredded something in the front diff then, or center diff, and it's just putting power to the rear. But yeah, you can see the gearbox oil just pouring out of both sides, and it looks like it's rolling down the skid plate to get out that far.
That's definitely gearbox oil.
Yeah, with it being that thick. At first I thought it might be axle grease, but that is thin enough that's gearbox oil.
There we go. BK, always great to have you with us on these events, and always great to have his technical insights. Okay, watching as Ott and Martin do their best. Toolkit's out, it's being rolled up and put away again. I mean, you can see, as BK said, it's coming out both sides. Take a look at this, Elliot. It's not so much on this side, but you can see even on the back mud flap, it's splattered. So the oil's been, BK said, pouring out. That's not, I don't think, an over-exaggeration. You can see it's splattered on that rear mud flap as well. And we'll keep out their way. Let's keep out the way. The tools are going back in. Do you know what? I kind of think maybe they've done what they can. I don't know, BK, did it look as if there was a fix there, or was it just, it looked exploratory to me?
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like he was just kind of checking some stuff out. It doesn't look like they actually did any adjustments that I saw. Like I said, it could just be some seals, but if you kind of grenaded something on the inside, it could blow those seals out and cause that leaking.
You have to be enormously concerned about the amount of oil that's come out. If they're just going to carry on, we'll follow them, because that could just go at any time.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. Obviously, we saw some at the stage end too, but it does look like it's a slow leak. I'd push it.
There we go. That's the advice from Brenton Kelly, to push it. Does look as if that's what Tänak and Järveoja are doing. That's our rally leaders then, heading in. BK, tell us, what is it? Don't drink it. What is it?
Yeah, that's gearbox oil.
Gearbox oil, heading towards the next stage. That is geothermal 2. It's quite a long road section. We will follow them in that direction and see whether they can keep things going. That's Thierry Neuville. He's also got a problem. We're not sure what that is. He was late in to the second pass of Loldia. It is all kicking off once again this afternoon here at Safari Rally Kenya. We're back in the truck, heading to geothermal in pursuit of an ailing Ott Tänak. Ott Tänak behind us. Last time we saw him, remember, they'd come out of Loldia. There was that oil leak. There was a big smell of gearbox, maybe transmission oil. We're not quite sure where they are. Suspension oil. We think it was gearbox oil. They got through geothermal 2 without any issues. They lost a lot of time in there. They drove through, not quite in road mode, but they lost about a minute and a little bit, but they did get through. They're on their way to the final stage of the day, which is the second pass of Keydong. They're not, how far, Brendan Kelly with us. Brendan, how far do we think they are? You were on the maps, about 3 or 4 Ks from the start?
Yeah, not very far. We're pretty close from the start, but seeing the axle here that they've removed, the hub side, like the actual wheel side, looks completely broken, and that wasn't like that before. What we were saying was actually the transmission side. So I'm interested to peek in here and see if they've replaced an axle they carry. If not, they just put plugs in.
No, I don't think they replace it with. They wouldn't be carrying an axle. That's.
No, yeah. So it looks like they'd have to put something in the gearbox to stop the oil from leaking. So same thing with the hub side, but yeah, they're going to run no front axle, or is that a spare they just pulled out?
So it'll be 2-wheel drive basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
This is a workable fix for them. And what do they need? What parts do they need? As you say, we've plugged the oil leak. We've taken the drive shaft out. They can go without the drive shaft, obviously. But what other parts might they need?
I mean, if they've got the plugs, they don't really need anything else. It just bolts everything back together, which looks like what he's doing now is kind of one of the ball joints, tightening it back up to the hub, and then they can just drive this thing rear-wheel drive for the next 15 Ks or so. I think is the last stage here of this loop of the day.
Yeah, of the day. They may lose another minute in that stage, but service maybe 9 Ks, 8 or 9 Ks from the end of the Keydong stage. Let's stick with this one. Ott Tänak, don't forget, he was our rally leader coming out of the second pass of Loldia. He did lose a minute in it, geothermal, over a minute. We have a new leader, it's Elvin Evans. Tänak drops to third, but is only 16 seconds off the lead. He's got Rovanperä in front of him, so it's still very much game on for Ott Tänak and Martin Järveoja. Desperate situation, and again, we've seen Adrien Fourmeau, he's out for the day in one of the Hyundais. The man who's battling through with his Hyundai, it's picked up quite a bit of time penalties for various issues, is Thierry Neuville. This is the man that was having the cleanest run of the Hyundai team, but this afternoon beset by problems here with his front differential, the front axle, giving him all sorts of issues. But he's working incredibly hard, as you can see, to fix that. Obviously big problems here. Tell us what you've done. Tell us what you think might have caused it.
Don't know. Obviously happened first day already for Thierry as well, so don't know what's happening there, but somehow, yeah, it's eating drive shafts at the moment.
You obviously hoped that you would get through this final one, but you've had to stop. Did something else go between the end of geothermal and here on the road section?
Yeah, first it was not completely broken. It had it was like skipping and some drive, but now on the stage it broke completely. So it was better to take it out. Otherwise, it can damage engine or something else. So.
2-wheel drive only for the final stage?
Yeah, it will be full sideways.
There we go. We really appreciate that. We really do. We really appreciate those words from Ott Tänak. So there we go. Do you know what? Still positive. He knows he's got a job to do. He knows he's been the fastest man out there today, and he knows there is still a huge amount to come in this rally. Take a look at this though, Elliot. It's still leaking, still dropping oil. Where's BK? BK, where are you? Where's our man? Come here, BK. Come here. Just talk to me about this. It's still leaking oil. And my concern is if the oil goes completely, should I be concerned?
I mean, I'd imagine they have some spare and they're just topping it off. There's a ton of oil in their gearbox, so it's not a massive amount that they're losing here. But yeah, this is a little more concerning seeing it way back here.
The drama continues as we expected here at Safari Rally Kenya. Unfortunately for Hyundai, most of that drama has concerned their team. It is now heading into the final stage of the day, a 1-2 for Toyota. Is there more to come here? Do we have more stories to tell? With one more stage to go, we won't have long to wait.